hello everybody, and welcome back to Roll Plus One's 6th anniversary stream. This year we're once again raising money for medical aid for Palestinians who do exactly what their name implies, which, is important right now as it has been over the last year and a half. Yeah, Free Palestine. You can donate at the link over in chat. Let me type donate in chat real quick so it appears. Yeah, there it is. So yeah, my name's Cindi. You can find my games over at cindi.hio. That's Cindi with C-I-N-D-I. Which includes the game we'll be playing today. And yeah, joining me today are Anna.
Hi, I'm Anna. I am also going to be here, and you can find the games that I do at, I'm going to paste a link in the chat, but it's seasidesepulchre.itch.io.
Yeah, and we also have Clay.
Yes, I'm Clay. The only game I've ever made was a hack of Honey Heist, which was called Zombie Heist, which is entirely unpublished and only tried once. You cannot play it, but it was fun.
And lastly, Ian.
I'm Ian. I use he, him pronouns, and I have never made a game at all, so.
Don't do it. It's a trap. It's so much work.
Truly.
It is powerful. That's true.
Yeah, so the game we'll be playing today is called Meet Your Aunt, which is made by me. It is a hack of Fiasco, which turns an ordinary Fiasco game into a horror story. For a playset, we'll be using The Coven, which I also made, which is a playset about a community of witches in a coven, as the name implies. Yeah, so let's get into the game. Let me switch over tabs real quick. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, so playing cards.io has like nice automation, so if I press this button, it should give us all a bunch of cards. Damn, wow.
That's so cool.
Uh-huh.
Ooh.
Yeah. So, yeah, to start this game, we're gonna create, it's gonna start off the same way that like Fiasco does, which means we're gonna create a bunch of like connections, relationships, needs, objects, and locations between different characters. Yeah. Sorry, yeah. So we'll set that up in a second. So yeah, we've just basically shuffled the cards and distributed them among us. And now we can like start basically placing cards in between characters.
I love all of these cards so much. I'm so excited.
Thank you. Yeah, so the way this will work is we'll start with one player, which is the person who was most recently startled. Who among us has been recently startled? It's gonna be a moment that you're like at that moment, I don't like the sound effect I just did.
If a nightmare counts, that was me yesterday.
Okay.
But I don't know if that counts.
Well, that counts.
But yes.
Awesome. Or I guess not awesome.
I don't know how you feel about having nightmares, I guess.
Not great, but it's fine. I would love to place a need. So when I played Fiasco, I've also often played Fiasco with dice. So I'm just gonna place this card. This is a need to escape the coven, and I think, Clay, how would you feel about escaping the coven?
I would feel really good about that. Yeah.
I'm so excited. Maybe we can do that together, or need to do it together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So to give a bit more explanation about what the four things are, so you have relationships, which are relationships. You have needs, which are like a thing both of your characters like want to do, need to do. You have locations, which is a location that both of your characters know about in some way, share in some way. That can be a bunch of things. And lastly, you have objects, which is, again, sort of in a similar vein. Like, it's something the character share, whatever way that like applies. Also, I just saw the the my brain is not going great at the moment. Sorry, I've been a bit stressed today, but
No worries, no worries.
so yeah. Also, this is a horror game, which I should have probably said up front. And because of that, characters will probably die, most likely die, almost inevitably die. So be prepared for that, or tune out if that's not a thing you want to see. Yeah, with that, there will also probably be some amount of violence, and there is a chance of mutilation, strangling, disease, or possession. Which, what that means, I'll get back to later. Or what that applies to. That applies to trades. I will get back to that later. We'll see that once the ritual happens.
Do you want to establish the lines and veils that we have expressed, or just in case someone want to add something last minute, or are we just...
Yeah. Is everybody comfortable with having the lines and veils public on the stream, by the way? Because,
Oh, yeah. Good point.
Fine by me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So we have a line on sexual violence, and we have veils on animal abuse and gaslighting. And we also want to see artsy camera shots, hubris, reality breaking, and sacrifice or rash bargains.
Definitely. Yes. Blades in the Dark has prepared me to take the devil's bargain every time. So.
Every time.
Yeah. This game doesn't have devil's bargain. Well, I was gonna say it doesn't have devil's bargains built in as a mechanism, but there is one thing that's sort of that, I guess.
I am excited.
Which you may or may not see, probably won't, but there's a chance.
So, sorry, just to be clear, a need is also a relationship card, or is it not?
No. So a need is different than a relationship card. On the card, she icons. So there's a heart icon for relationship, knife icon for an object, tree for a location, and a diamond for a need.
You have objects? Oh, that must be nice.
Okay, cool. Okay, you don't have objects. Yeah, that happens sometimes. I have so many objects.
Yeah, you got all mine. That's nice.
No, okay. Like Anna did, we'll go around in the corner, go around in a circle. Why did I say corner? And and like distribute these among us. There should be 2 cards between every one of us, and there should be at most 2 relationships, 2 needs, 1 object, and 1 location, if I'm not mistaken.
Awesome.
Yeah. Also,
as the maximum on the board, or
yes, as the maximum on the board.
Okay, gotcha.
Also, no one character should have 2 things of the same type. So not 2 relationships or 2 needs, for example.
Okay.
So yeah, Anna was first. I guess we'll go in Discord order, or we can also just go clockwise.
Let's go in board order, then I have time to observe. That would be really helpful for me.
Yeah, okay. Ooh, let's see. Which ones do I have? I think... I think Ian, you and me have the object and mysterious artifact.
Ooh.
Okay.
Also,
I think.
yeah. I was gonna say you can place the cards between you and a different character, but you can also place them between 2 other characters, for example, if you want to. If those players are okay with that.
I think I am gonna place a relationship, if this works for you, Clay, of Frog and the witch who turned them into one.
Yes. No, that's great. Yeah. Do you have a preference of what you want to be, or is that not... we don't have that yet. Right.
No, it's you can
We
like
don't do
talk
that
about it now, but it's better to like lay it out, lay all the things
Okay.
out, and then decide usually. But yeah.
Gotcha. I'll
Can't wait
be
to
in
see if I need to escape the coven with a witch or a frog. I'm so excited.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So me. Okay. Interesting. I'm a hard time looking at the cards.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's smaller than I remember, but yeah.
So I feel like the vibe that we're seeing here is sort of like maybe medieval. There are villagers mentioned, and but there's also revolution. I don't know. I guess it's whatever we want it to be. Okay, I think I will place. I will place a. I think this could be fun. If I can have two relationships.
You shouldn't. It should be like.
Okay. I'll put it back.
Yeah, so you can only put a relationship. There can only be a relationship between me and Anna now, because you can't have one character can't have two, basically.
What?
Oh. Or do you have a bunch of relationships? Is that what happened for you?
Oh my god.
I have that too. So I cannot put a relationship between me and Anna.
I think you
either?
can.
No.
I think you can.
No. No, you're supposed to put it so there can only be two relationships in. Wait, am I saying this right? No, I'm not saying this right. No, sorry. You can put that relationship there. Yeah, you can. Okay.
It says, in the rules, one to the left of right of every player.
Yeah, sorry, I got that confused. Sorry about that.
Okay, gotcha.
What I was saying was true about needs. So there can only be a need between me and Ian.
Okay. Then I'll put this one, which I think that's why we want to escape.
This is
because
awesome.
We're not actually witches; we're demons, and I want it to be sort of a Salem in Sabrina and the Teenage Witch sort of setup of a demon being turned into a cat. In this case, a frog.
So good.
But that would be great.
So good.
That's so tired of it. Yeah.
Okay, Cindi, it sounds like we need a thing. And that cannot be a need, but it can be a relationship, location, or object, correct?
Yes. Not object. There can only be one object in this.
Ah, I see. We already have the mysterious artifact.
Oh, wait. I shouldn't have placed it there. I realized now. Sorry.
Oh?
Because the need needs to be opposite of that. Whatever. We'll figure that out later. You can go ahead.
We'll figure it out. Okay, so I have a few really good relationships. Oh. But now that I know I'm a demon in human form, this complicates a lot of the things I was hoping to do.
Yeah, it does that.
Yeah, I
mean, if you prefer to do something else, that's
totally no, you're wonderful. I popped off really hard when I read that card. I'm so excited. I think I think I'm gonna put a mentor and apprentice relationship here. I don't know how you feel about that, but I think that might be fruitful.
Yeah, I'm down for that. We'll figure out who is who, I guess.
Yeah.
It's the demon, the mentor, the apprentice. Yeah. Let's see. So I guess I should move the object. I guess I'll put that between us then, Anna.
Sure, I'm fine with that.
And I think Ian, we have the need. I think we have the need to learn the secret of eternal life.
Beautiful.
I'm always saying this. So.
There's 2 other in the coven who may have some knowledge of that. Yeah.
Just maybe.
Who might that be? I have no clue.
No.
Surely
I'll
not my
never tell.
students. Or mentor.
Okay, so remind me what I can't place at this point.
Need object. Need an object at the 4-person one, right?
Yeah, we need an object. We need a location between you and Clay,
Okay.
Ian, and we need a relationship between you and me.
Okay. Do you have? How are you looking on locations, Clay?
Oh, I have many.
Okay, I only have one, and I'm not sold on it for us, so I'm gonna leave that to you.
I have
if
some
that's
good
all right.
ones, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
In that case, we need a relationship. You say. We are the eldest witch and the next in line.
Ooh. Okay.
Oh.
Demon apprentice looking more and more likely.
Nice. Okay. I think I like this one just because it's so full of flavor. I don't have a good idea for it yet, but I think it can be worked out. So I think I don't know how we endless void what it means between our characters, but it is something. It could be where you keep me after you turn me into a frog. I don't know. Who's to say?
Ooh, yeah, something of you is kept there probably. So you're feeling that you were feeling that you're the frog in our relationship.
I'm feeling more and more like the frog in this relationship. Yeah.
Okay.
Unless
fair.
it's a role you want to claim, absolutely, that's fine too.
I mean, I will admit, I initially played that out in the hope of being a frog, but the fact that you can be a frog demon now, I think completely overpowers my initial desire.
Okay, I mean, I'm good either way. I'm good either way.
Frog.
I mean,
up.
I will say you can also be a frog eldest witch, but yeah.
Yeah, I did play in a toad and frog must get married, so I do have some insight into playing frog.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I will defer to your expertise there, certainly.
Yeah, we have to figure out what we keep in this endless void, but yes. Okay.
Yeah, so with the cards and story guides, we can discuss what we think our characters, why we have these relationships and stuff, like what our characters are, who our characters are. We can start naming our characters, giving them pronouns and stuff. Yeah, just kind of talk about hey, what is this mysterious artifact the two of us have, Anna?
I'm so curious.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do we want to know what it is as characters, or is it mysterious to us as well?
I think we should know what it is as characters.
Okay.
My first thought is that it is my demon heart that you have that you have.
Ooh. Okay.
But I'm not sure about that.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like a demon without a heart does feel very it feels genre to me.
Yeah. So not having a heart, does that something to you, or what does that to you? I guess does give me power over you, or is that am I aware of this?
Yes, I think so. I mean, how do you feel about actually locking in that I'm the apprentice, and to teach me, I had to give you my heart, which is a mysterious and powerful artifact.
Oh God, yeah. Do I know you're a demon?
I think you can't not know.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you definitely know, but I think I don't think anybody else knows except maybe Bellowflux Nee Dennis. Which also, what a name.
Is it Ni or Nay?
Oh, that's a good
Nay,
question.
it's Nay like formerly
Okay.
Dennis.
Yeah.
Nay, I see, I see.
As a Dutch
But
person, I
there's
will
a,
read it
like-
like that, so, you know.
There's a yes. I was just not. I didn't want to put the apostrophe and disgrace myself in the wrong place, so I just needed to look that up. Finished. Oh, whoops.
Oh yeah, also, if you're having trouble coming up with a character name, if you turn around the cards in your hand, those all have a name at the bottom of them, which you can use if you
Oh,
want.
whoa.
Oh my god, that's brilliant.
Yeah, also, I was having trouble coming up with names, and then I realized I could just reuse a bunch of character names I've used in the past, so that's what they are.
This is the way. This is the way. Oh wait, I can spread the cards out. I don't have them laid
Yeah.
over on each other.
So some
Well,
of you
I
might
am
recognize
learning
these names
things.
in chat, I guess.
So
Oh my God,
we're
one of
thinking
the
you're
names.
the Elder Witch.
Yeah, it could be. I think I can also see a case where like I'm the next in line and like doing this mentoring is sort of part of that. Though if I know Anna's character is a demon, maybe that's not the case actually. Maybe this is more of a illicit thing that I'm doing, but yeah. How do you feel about that, Ian?
I'm fine either way. I think the God, if you know that Anna's character is a demon and you're their mentor, and also I've turned this other demon into a frog, is whatever our learning the secret of eternal life clearly somehow demon related? Is that we're both screwing around with demon stuff to try to accomplish this?
God, maybe, yeah. God, yeah. I mean, so when I first like had to like make the connection between Eldest Witch and turn someone into a frog, my idea was that you did it as sort of a like you realized they were a demon and was like, this is dangerous, let's turn them into a frog. But but that's yeah. I do also like the option of like we're doing this to like
Oh,
yeah, you also got the playing cards that IO promotion thing. Yeah, this is very annoying. This is a new thing that they're doing. I didn't know about this before I set this up.
That before.
Yeah, sorry, chat. You're getting
it's
it
very
now.
funny for a horror game to have bright vector graphics.
Yeah,
Yes.
this character really doesn't match the vibes of the game,
Advertisement.
but you know. Yeah.
Imminent Sunset. Oh, that's good. Lenore. Oh, what a classic name.
Clay, what is our relationship as demons? Do we both know that we're demons, or do neither of us know that the other is also a demon? Because I think that might be the funny thing.
I was thinking that too. And like constantly dropping hints to sort of like, I have some powerful abilities, but I can't tell you exactly why that could help us escape. And like constantly sort of like alluding to the fact that we may be demons without ever saying it. I think that would be funnier.
Yeah. And then I don't know. This is too early to try and pin this down, but I'm wondering, why we decided we needed to escape, or is it just because you're a frog and I rashly gave my heart to a human?
I think it could be individual reasons that we just sort of found, common purpose, or it can be a shared reason of like, I don't know, Why would you ever leave a coven?
Well,
Not the vibes are bad.
Strike out for a solo career? I don't know.
Ooh.
Or is it more of a Granny Weatherwax situation of like, can't really stand other people? I don't know.
well, if this is a case of like, you know, me and Ian's character are experimenting on the two of you somehow, maybe that's part of it. Yeah.
Oh
Right?
my god, yes.
Yeah, that feels like a reason to get out, certainly.
Yeah.
Yes,
Truly.
yeah. Oh, so you got the apprentice.
I was
Eminence
trying to
said,
learn
is it-
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. What was I may have missed it because there was a blip in my connection. But did you figure out what the mysterious artifact was?
I think the current idea is that it's my heart that I traded in exchange for magic lessons,
Oh, wow.
which I'm imagining as like a big hunk of like crystal.
Oh, it crystallized.
Ooh.
Okay, that's nice. Like in Adventure Time, the little elephant wants the crystal heart. We'll do anything for it. Anyway, Lenore and Bellaflux, this endless void between us, we should figure out what that is as well. And what its purpose is.
Is that where I'm keeping your body?
God. So it's sort of like a having put my soul into a frog situation.
Yeah.
Rather than sort of transfiguration. Yeah, okay.
If you're more interested in transfiguration, though, we can do something else.
No, I love the idea of the sort of like I'm trying to get my body out of the endless void so I can leave. Yeah, no, I think that's fun. I like that. Or is it just where you keep all your illicit stuff, all your
Yeah, it's probably a mess in there.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Ravenous Revolt. That's good.
Do we have any more setup we need to do then?
No, that's set up, figured out. Yeah, that went quicker than I expected, actually. I do think this is one of the powers of the card-based version of Fiasco, is that it makes setup so much quicker. Like,
I was just thinking that.
yeah. Yeah. With that, we can go into Act 1. So, yeah, at this point, we'll start playing scenes. Basically, what will happen is we'll go around in a corner. All of us will do a scene, which is a scene that involves our player character, basically, and maybe other characters, maybe not. We'll see. And yeah, when you're doing a scene, you can either choose to establish or resolve the scene. When you establish a scene, you basically, well, are establishing the scene and are saying like, okay, my character is doing this, they're going here, whatever. You know, you're basically describing where it's taking place, what your character is doing, what other characters are involved in the scene. If you chose resolve, the other players will decide that for you. So they might say, oh, you're going to, I don't know, you're going to this witch's cabin to do this thing, for example. After that, you start playing out the scene. And if you choose to establish the scene, the other players will choose a positive or negative outcome for you. But if you are resolving the scene, you can pick that yourself. So at some point during the scene, either you or the other players will pick a positive or negative token, place it on your character basically, and then you get to decide, okay, well, you don't get to decide, but then you basically play out the rest of the scene towards that outcome. So, you know, for example, if you're about to do a dangerous thing and someone is like, oh, that's positive, it somehow works out. If it's negative, maybe that goes very wrong. Who knows? So that's how scenes work. We can start, and we start playing with the character who has the most ID, who has an ID for a scene, basically. Like, Does anyone or?
I do have one.
Okay.
But if someone also would like to go first, that's totally good with me. I have one where. So I imagine as a coven, seeing as we're living together, or not living, that we're in a coven together, that we may live in the same sort of manor house or something like that.
Ooh.
And I, with the best rooms taken for Lenore and Ravenous, of course. But I imagine me in sort of like dead of night, hopping down to the ground floor or the first floor, with a big butter knife in my mouth because I can't use my hands.
Oh yes, you're
So,
a frog. I remember.
Yeah, I'm hopping down the stairs with this knife and like making sure I don't drop it so I don't wake anyone up. And I'm trying to go over to a wall and trying to like open up a hatch, like these old Victorian houses that have like little vents in there. And I'm trying to like hatch this thing open to get into the endless void in there. And I guess that was establishing the scene. So I guess I chose that. Yeah. And I think, as it's not really coming open, I start trying to scratch like some arcane symbols into the hatch to try and open it with whatever ritual or maybe secret demonic power that I have. That is really hard to do as a frog.
Is there somebody else in the scene?
I think I am. I definitely started alone, but I think if someone's walking in on me, that would be more fun. I think make it a more interesting scene. So if someone has an idea of, Lenore, Imminent, Ravenous, any of them walking in on this scene, could be fun. Yeah.
Yeah, I think, Ravenous is just like, kind of like walking around to like manor house. I think just like late up at night, the usual thing, probably like deep in the books or something. I think like sees you, like walks across the hallway, sees you, and just like walks over and like.
Yeah, I also luck. But a knife
So,
in hand.
yeah.
In mouth, sorry.
Yeah. And I think she just walks over and is just like, oh, Baleflux, Baleflux, Baleflux. What are you doing down here?
I spit out the knife. I say, oh.
Can you talk, by the way?
Yes, I was just hungry.
That's not where we keep our food.
No?
No. Or was it more of a demon type of hungry?
Do you have other questions? I was normal human hungry for bread and cheeses.
Lenore won't be too happy about this, I'm afraid.
Could you consider not telling Lenore?
I could.
Is your consideration that you will not?
Well, I mean, I think I need something in return for that. It's really my thing, you know?
I look around with my big frog eyes. I have this knife.
I think,
You can have this knife.
Ravenous, like, picks up the knife, looks at it. This is from the kitchen.
Yes, I am giving it to you.
Why didn't you get food while you were there?
I thought food was stored in the walls.
Oh, Bela Flux.
Oh, Bellaflux. Silly frog.
Yeah. So you have a negative outcome
Yes.
for the scene.
That's
Do we
right.
want? Do we just want to cut it there? You know, like.
I think that's perfect. That's perfect.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Then scene goes over to Anna.
Sure does. I'm of two minds. My one mind is I would love to have a scene to help illustrate what the apprenticeship looks like.
Yeah.
Which could be fun. But I think the other idea was if I have to like administer or like supervise whatever like punishment Lenore ends up giving Bellaflux here, um, and that way we have an opportunity to explore our need a little bit more.
Oh yeah, that's true.
I think I might like that. Um, Ian, do you have any thoughts about what a punishment might be here? Is this like chores, like reorganizing the library,
Oh
or
my god.
Uh, yeah, I think it is definitely chores. Something like reorganizing the library, though, I don't know if Bellaflux could really even be trusted with that. So,
get the
I
books all
think,
slimy?
yeah, exactly. Um, I think it's arranging, the what is it? What do you call a spice cabinet? But it's not a spice cabinet. It's your ingredients for your cauldron.
A component closet.
Yeah,
Ooh.
the component closet. That's probably a little bit small, like still very long and tedious and still difficult because
Oh
frog,
yeah.
but not as difficult as try to move a book.
Yeah, I like this.
Plus, books have secrets that I cannot be allowed to see. I'm sure.
Yeah, and who knows? You might have a reaction to some of these ingredients, and that could be useful information to find out.
Oh no.
Yeah, so I'll establish the scene. This is I think in the like I think all of these this ingredients cabinet has to be in like the top of a tower, so that it can catch the moonlight in a very specific way. Um, and I am sitting on the table, and I am overseeing you, uh, like I guess like exploring the depths of this cabinet and like pushing around little like vials and bottles, with like in a cabinet that's probably filled with as much dust as like actual ingredients.
Yeah, I think maybe you, as you approach, you hear like a low sort of like Latin phrases in a deep voice, like chanting, sort of demonic. And then I notice someone comes along, like, oh, oops. And I continue my task of moving these things around. Yeah.
Unfortunately, I am bound to keep you from performing any incantations while you're performing the ritual. Sorry.
Oh.
Um, so if you wouldn't mind.
I had like formed half a spectral hand to help me do this because hands would be so much easier. And then
Mhm.
I sullenly just slowly blink the hand away. Okay.
Prescott was very specific that you have to do this all manually.
Uh, I already did this last month. I don't think they changed that much until Lenore just randomly pushed them around.
It's a level of
Why?
cruelty that I didn't even think they were capable of.
Oh. Oh, my heart wishes to leave this place.
Mine too. Were you able to open the door?
No. Her ravenous found me, and I tried to offer the knife, but she didn't want it.
You offered a kitchen knife in recompense for their silence.
Yes,
What did you expect?
it's the normal human thing to do, I think. A normal thing to do. I don't need to put human on there, because that's what I was.
First a human, then a frog. Oh, how the
Yes.
mighty have fallen, Belaflux.
Yes. They shall know to fear the name Dennis. Have you made any headway in escape?
No. Though, I think I know where my heart is being kept, and with that, maybe I should be able to regain my power.
This is fantastic news.
It's, I think, in a locked chest underneath Revolt's bed. But I can't fit in there in my current form. But maybe you can, being small like you are.
Thank you for reminding me of my diminutive form. But yes, I can do this task.
I'll owe you a favor, if you can get this back for me.
If it gets us away, you owe me nothing.
That sounds like Cindi to me.
Sounds pretty positive to me.
Yeah, I think that's pretty positive.
Oh.
Cindi?
Yeah. Also, you should be keeping the tokens you get at your character. To, like,
Oh,
so
okay.
you need those at the end.
I didn't know if we were just
Yeah.
floating in space. Okay, cool. Good to know.
Yeah. So I'm thinking it's either gonna be a teaching session with Imminent, or it's gonna be like Ravenous and Lenore like discussing things, I guess.
Mm.
Who was the eldest?
We didn't. We talked about it, but I don't think we decided.
That sounds right.
Yeah.
It's twins, and they argue whoever was born first. Yeah.
Do you have a feeling on this? I did kind of play it as though your character was the eldest here, I guess, but
I was going to say I'm fine either way, but what we've played so far does seem to lean that way.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I think this is like a meeting between the two of us, you know? Like
Mm-hmm.
I think it's just like I don't know. I got their hearts, but it doesn't seem to be giving me any powers yet, you know?
It's just a matter of figuring out how to crack it, I think.
Crack their heart.
Of course, where else would we find their immortal vitality?
We might find their immortal vitality, or we might just find their mortality.
Yes, Ravenous, that was my point.
Well, what I'm saying is we have an opportunity here, and I'm just afraid we'll waste it like that. Cracking it open, killing the demons we fought so hard to get access to.
Well, if you believe timidity is the path to immortality, I suppose you will get what you deserve there. However, what I would suggest is we have you have caught a demon once. Why do you not have faith that you will do so again, or that you could do so again?
I suppose. It's just. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I think she's just like. It's just. It seems a bit cruel, you know? I know we're already being cruel to them, but. Well. It does weigh on me a bit, I guess.
My dear, they are demons. Have you any notion of what they would do if they were given a free hand over us?
Well.
I'm sure it would be dreadful.
Especially after what we've done to them.
Well, certainly. But is it not? Is it not worth? Is our goal not worth sacrifice? Especially if the sacrifice needn't be ours?
It is, sister, it is. It's just. I don't know. I sometimes fear we're getting into a hole too deep to get out of.
I think Lenore smiles at you. You and I would climb out of the pit. There is no hole too deep for us.
Think she's just like, thank you for your encouragement, sister. I think does like a how do we think our characters like? What's like the sign of respect that Ravenous does to you? I guess like a kiss on the hand or something, or like.
Ooh, that kind of works, I think.
Yeah.
Sort of a regal sort of
Yeah.
respect. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now I just want you to have rings so I can do a Robin Hood and just take the gems. Despite
Yeah.
Okay, nice.
So that leaves me, I guess.
Yeah.
I think I will also establish here for the first round. I think I think this is. I am looking for. I am stalking the house looking for Bellowflux because I have decided that the ingredients, that the components were not properly sorted.
Oh no.
And I think I'm curious how Imminent reacts to this. So I think you find I'm looking for Bellowflux, and either you find me or I find you, Imminent. Does that sound
Oh, that's
good?
good. Yeah. What if you're checking every door in a long hallway and there's a flash of lightning as you close one door and I'm just standing by the window at the end of the hallway, arms crossed.
Yes.
Nice.
And I think the leading up to this, it's the very the sing-songy Bellowflux, and then flash of lightning.
Leave him alone, Lenore.
Alone, if they were left alone, there would be nothing to them. They are a such a piteous creature. Left alone, they would shrivel up and be lost.
Left alone, they might reclaim their true form.
Their true
Is that something that
form.
scares you?
Scares me, Imminent? You ask what scares me? I suppose with your theatrics with the lightning and all, I should expect nothing less. No, it doesn't scare me. It It would irritate me.
Is that all they are to you? A fly buzzing about your head. Too quick to kill, but too annoying to keep alive.
No. They eat the flies, Imminent. I understand your confusion. They are exactly as they appear. Useful, but disposable.
What were you going to do to them
What would
as punishment or retribution?
I simply need the components were not properly sorted. I that needs to be corrected under a sterner supervision than yours.
You can't lie to me. So don't even try. What were you going to do?
I think just like considers you saying that I can't lie to you for a moment, and then just smiles and goes, "Haven't you ever wondered what the salts of Tartarus might do to a creature such as that?" You
There's
say
a
you're here to learn. Sorry.
no, I was gonna like. There's like a gulp of like restrained caution.
You say you are here to learn, Imminent. That's what you tell my dear Ravenous at any rate. What you've convinced her of. Why would you draw a boundary there? What is it about them that you wish to protect?
Um, I think the thing that she says is, believe me, I know an unfair bargain when I see one. But I also know that every deal has an escape clause if you know where to look and you know how to find it. And I think I might know how. I thought what I was getting out of this arrangement was going to be beneficial. I think Bellaflux thought what they were going to be getting out of this arrangement was beneficial for both parties, maybe. But it's obviously not the case. So, this escape clause, it will be found. And your frustration will very soon turn to fear.
I think Lenore scowls at that. I think that's the first time we see something break of the very placid smile.
Mm-hmm.
And she says, "Watch your words, Sunset.
I'm
I will
always
not.
watching my words.
Well, good. I will have to speak to my sister about your instruction then." And I think turns to leave. Very, very clearly having like surrendered some measure of power in this exchange here.
Hell yeah, hell yeah.
So spiteful. And then another crack of lightning. Awesome.
Good scene.
Yeah. So with that, we have done our first round of scenes.
Yes.
Yeah, at this point, the ritual will happen, which is...
Yeah, perhaps we should take a break before that.
Yeah, I think so. It's a good time for that, I think. So
Awesome.
let's be back 5 minutes past.
All right.
Sounds great. Yeah.
Works for me.
Okay, then let's go to break screen. welcome back. We're here with the 6th Vol Plus Bound stream, raising money for medical aid for Palestinians. So far we've raised £500 of our current £1,500 goal. I think the organization is UK, that's why it's pounds, but yeah. Anyway, yeah, where we left off, we had some demons getting bullied by 2 witches. I think is a description of what happened there so far.
That's right. That's right. Threats of salt.
Yeah. One of the demons is a frog. Also important.
Yes.
Yeah. And if you've been watching the stream so far and have been like, hey, this just looks exactly like Fiasco so far, that's right. This is the moment where that changes.
Let's go.
So what we're gonna do right now is called the ritual. And basically what the ritual means is that we're all gonna close our eyes, except one of us, and each of us in turn will pick out what our character's end will be. An end can be either demise or survival. Demise means bad, survival means good. Demise is usually death, but not always. And yeah, we're gonna pick out basically what will happen to our characters in the story, and also, you know, how that will happen. Basically how this will work is like one of us will start. Yeah, Clay started so far, so I think continues on Clay if I remember the rules right. Yeah, we'll all close our eyes. Clay will take 3 cards from either the survival or demise deck. If Clay is like, hey, I'm fine with my character dying in this game, he can pick 3 cards from the demise deck. If Clay is more like, or anyone, is not just Clay. If you're like, you know what, I want my character to survive this, you can pick 3 cards from the survival deck. If you're not really sure, but want an option for survival, you can pick 2 cards from the demise deck and 1 for the survival deck. Once you do that, there will be... Can I show this off? I can, but I have to... Okay. Sorry, I'm just thinking some stuff through. I can just... Okay, so I'll just explain by showing one of the cards. So this is, for example, a demise. Oh, and this is a survival. Well, it's not a demise, it's a survival, but it comes from the demise deck. There are some survival cards in the demise deck.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, basically what it will say, at the top it will say if it's a survival or a demise. Then beneath that it will say by what method, basically. You will survive this by chopping off the claws of the horror. I will get back on what the horror is. Also, I find it so difficult to say horror in, like, English. I struggle with the R. We pronounce the R differently here, but yeah. I do sometimes have to force myself to say horror in Dutch because that's more clear, but yeah.
Let it never be said that English is easy to pronounce.
Anyway, that was a tangent. Yeah, also at the bottom of your card there will be a trait, which in this case is claws, and it will have a number next to it. In this case 1, which is conveniently the top card of the trait tag. So yeah, you will pick out 3 cards. You will choose one of these cards to happen to your character. The other 3 cards you can put in the discard tag. And once you've... well, actually, you should actually pick out a trait first. I did it in the wrong order. So you should pick out the card that's on the card that you've chosen. So in this case, that would be number 1. So we put number 1 in the horror deck. And once we've done that, you can discard your other 2 cards. If, for example, there is a number on there and it isn't in the trait deck anymore, you will pick one of the numbers on your 2 different cards, basically. And if for some reason of random very unlikely randomness, those aren't there either. You don't have to put one in there, I think. Or just put the top one. I don't. Pick a random one. Do whatever you like, I think. It's very unlikely. Anyway, yeah. So,
since we're closing our eyes, since everyone else will have their eyes closed, are we doing this on the board so that the stream can see what the cards are that we draw?
The stream won't be able to see it, is what I'll say.
Okay.
I have a special screen for that, but but yeah. So once you've done all of that, you've discarded the other two cards. You keep the one card that you chose in your hand. Also, I see the rest of you still have your cards in your hand. You can put them into the playset thing if you want to, so they don't clutter up your hand. Yeah. So yeah, once you've done that, once you've done all of that, you can make a scary sound and notify the next player it's their turn to pick. Unless you're the last character, unless you're the last person, in this case Ian, we will make a scary sound and then announce that the ritual is over. Did that explanation make sense? For all of you?
Mostly, yes.
Okay.
At least
Anything you're unclear on? Because, you know, we do kind of have to keep our eyes closed, so it's like difficult to check that everyone is doing everything right.
It was just something you said about the. So if you couldn't find the number,
Yeah.
pick a trait from one of your other options. What do you mean by other options?
So you pick 3 cards at the start. From
Oh, okay, now I understand. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, because some of them may have the same trait that they're targeting. Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Gotcha. But we don't keep the demise/survival card.
You keep the one that you picked. So you leave that in your hand, basically.
Okay, gotcha.
So at the end of this, you should have one survival or demise card in your hand.
Okay.
one survival and demise card, and then also one trait card, right?
No, the trait card should go in the horror pile.
Oh, yes. Okay, yes. I missed that bit.
Yeah. Also,
you're building a horror, I think.
yes,
Awesome.
we're building a horror, indeed. Also, this is more of a usability note, but if you're picking out the thing and you're like, oh, I need to get to 7, if you pick the sort traits button, they will all go back to the traits pile. So, like,
Oh, awesome.
for
Nice.
convenience.
That's nice.
Okay,
all right.
Cool.
Yeah. We got OBS. Okay. Yeah, and with that, let's start the ritual. We all close our eyes.
I go first?
The rest of us. Yeah.
I should have my eyes open. That's probably better.
Yeah, you should have your eyes open.
Okay. All right. Oh, that's good. Okay. Okay. I'm done.
Make a scary sound. You have to. And then it's Anna's turn, right?
Mm-hmm. That is my scary sound.
Okay. Ian, it's your turn.
Okie dokie. Ooh, the ritual is done.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, so with that, we have concluded the ritual. So now we can move into Act 2 of Each Round. Yeah, during Act 2, we will have another 3 rounds of scenes, which will mostly play as they did in the first act, but during the first round of this act, each scene will uncover one trait of the horror. Also, I should shuffle the horror deck.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, it's now shuffled. So, yeah. So during each scene, we'll unveil one of the things of the horror deck. Wait, I'll just read out what I wrote in the PDF. Maybe that's better than trying to remember it and explain it at the same time. So yeah. Oh yeah, once it's your scene, you basically pick the top card of the horror deck and place it in your hand. Then you can have a look at what it is. And then you can, again, choose to either establish or resolve the scene. And then during the course of the scene, you can unveil what the trait of the horror is. What the horror is kind of like changes from game to game. It's usually some sort of monster, but not always. It can be, what I wrote here is it can be a swamp monster, a herd of mutant sheep, a crooked cop, or a haunted car. Yeah, it can be like, you know, think very broad when it comes to like horror monsters and stuff like that. And also like, you know, it's some sort of nebulous force that's probably not good for our characters.
Those all sound like Stephen King books. So yeah.
Yeah, some of them are literally Stephen King books, yes. Christine is definitely in there, but yeah.
Uh-huh.
Though it was also sort of inspired by Titan, so, you know, but those are both evil car movies, so. Well,
Yeah.
none of the car is evil in Titan, actually. It's just weird. Anyway, so also during Act 2, you can choose to meet your end. What meeting your end means is basically you unveiling what happens to your character. So during the course of a scene, that can be that's basically which happens after basically the positive or negative token has been placed. You can decide to meet your end, and then you will unveil whatever end card you have in there. That's where the name of the game comes from. Damn.
Title card.
Anyway, yeah, so you can like unveil it. So yeah, basically, if it's like a positive scene but you have a demise, you can be like, oh no, hell yeah, things are going positively, but oh no, I die instead, for example. Or vice versa, you can also be like, hey, this is a negative scene, but somehow you survive, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that is basically the explanation I needed to do here. Am I missing something? Oh yeah, also, it's usually best to wait until like all of the horror, well, not all of the horror things, but a sufficient amount of horror things have been revealed, you know? The traits of the horror are sort of like Chekhov guns, like, you know? So, you know, it's kind of weird if the gun goes off before you reveal it sometimes, but you can do it if you want to. Yeah.
I have a
Yeah.
question. The negative and positive tokens, are they for the end game and not for this part?
Yeah, they're for the end of the game. Basically, at the end of the game, there will be a, like, you know, basically an end montage, and we can use those there to have, like, positive or negative scenes. It's mostly just to, yeah.
Okay.
Also, yeah, please refrain from, like, kind of defining what the horror is until all traits have been revealed. That's mostly to, like, avoid, you know, things not really matching up, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and with that, I think we're ready to go into Act 2. Play, it's your turn again.
Oh, I start. Okay.
Yeah.
What scene do I want to do? Yeah. Okay. Let's just start in the action. I'm hopping down the hall on my way to. So did Imminent say your heart was in a box under Ravenous bed?
That's what I meant to say. Yeah. I
Okay.
don't remember exactly the words I said.
No, I'm just confirming. So we see Bellflux hopping down a hallway to get to Ravenous's room. Cindi, would you say Ravenous is asleep, or are they not in the room?
I think they are sleeping. Also, you have to pick the top
I
part of
do
the
it
horde
now?
again.
Okay.
Yeah,
I didn't
and
know
put it
how
in
much
your hand.
establishing I should do. All right.
You have to. So you pick the card and put it in your hand, but don't unveil it to us yet, basically, so you can like use it to inform your scene.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Okay. I have taken it. So I think a creaking door opens into Ravenous's room as I look around, hop and skip towards her bed so I can jump under it and get to this box. But as soon as I enter that threshold, I start to hear sounds that I don't normally hear in this house. Unnatural, mechanical sounds. Whining machinery in need of desperate maintenance, grinding and shredding its own innards. And the deeper and deeper I come towards this box, the louder and more dissonant it becomes.
Ooh.
And I think I try to summon some courage as I come closer and closer to this box, but there's a part of me that thinks perhaps this sound is coming from the box. Is it coming from the box? Have I been tricked? This is just another trick. And I overstep a little bit and jump on the box and kick it out from under the bed so it goes sliding across the floor. Perhaps I don't want to come too close to it. If someone wants to tee in their entrance into the scene, I think I sort of like go very flat for a moment to me, worried that I've woken up Ravenous in this moment.
I was gonna ask, I forgot if I said I was sleeping or not. No, I think yeah, Ravenous probably like yeah, I think does the like what? Like you see her slowly like waking up,
Yeah. I think it's sort of a wide shot where you see the the reflecting eyes, frog eyes, under the bed while you sit up in bed.
Mhm.
I just sit very still.
Yeah.
Does
But
Ravenous
yeah,
hear the machinery?
yeah. Do they?
Um. Does Ravenous hear the machinery? I think it's more interesting if she doesn't. And I think it's like
Me,
a
it's loud,
yeah.
factory loud. Yeah.
I think it's she just sits up and like sits up and she's like looks around and like what's that? um. Yeah. And
I
uh,
think to inject a little bit of tension here,
mhm.
I think Battle Flux sort of goes it's now or never, and like jumps full speed out from under the bed into the box and tries to like kick it into the hallway, while saying, uh, "Imminent, imminent, please, imminent," shouting down the hallway, trying to get away with this box.
Yeah. I think Ravenous is just like, damn frog! And like starts running after you?
Yeah.
As you hop away.
Um,
Do you
maybe
catch
this.
me? Or does imminent save me? How do we want
um,
to set this up?
hmm.
Or
I think
resolve it, I
someone
suppose.
should probably do a positive or negative token here.
I don't feel like I
Exactly.
can give it because I feel like I'm implicitly in this scene.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I'm literally in the scene, so. I mean, you can give this token if you're in the scene, but yeah. Yeah. Hmm. Do you want this to be like Bellafox gets caught or like something different bad happens? Like.
You know what could be fun? If I kick it past sort of where Lenore sleeps and we see it from like a low angle and the box is sliding across these splintered wooden planks and
Mhm.
then comes to a complete stop as Lenore like puts her heeled boot or something on the box
Ooh.
Mhm.
Yes.
with a chattering sound. As at that moment, like from Battlefox's point of view, the machinery has just been increasing their cadence and volume, and then it comes to a horrible stop as she puts the boot on the box.
I think we get the shot from Bellaflux's perspective. So from the floor, looking up at
Yes.
Lenore towering over, and it's just
Mhm.
the shaking her head. Tisk tisk, Bellaflux. Oh. Sister, you must learn to keep track of your trinkets.
Damn frog broke into my room.
I see that. That is very unfortunate for you, Bellaflux.
Uh,
And if you have something else there, we could do it. I have,
oh,
I
I
think,
think it's a much better fate to black unless you have something. Yes.
well, it's just I think the foot that is on the box steps off
Yes.
the box and towards you, but the last thing is you get the sound of the machinery all coming rushing back to Bellaflux in that moment, and then we can
Mm.
cut.
At like a train speed as you
Yes,
come towards me.
exactly.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. Yes. Excellent. I love that. Yes. I feel like Bellafox scenes have an implicit doomed quality to them.
Truly.
Yeah, but not in a good place right now, I feel like.
Ooh. right. Yeah, I'm happy to pass the torch to Anna.
All right. I will take my card. Ooh. Ooh.
This is really fun, by the way, to have these elements. Like, I run horror campaigns, so like having a thematic instruction for a scene that is mwah. Lovely.
Yeah. Once I figured out this mechanism, I was so happy with it. Yeah.
Yes.
For good reason. Mine is really interesting too. I'm not quite sure how to. I think this scene maybe happening concurrently with everything else, or like just soon after Bellaflux attempts to steal the heart. We see I think we get a shot in looking up a stairwell of a dark, like a dark unilluminated stairwell, and then there's the creaking of a door as it opens and shines a beam of light down the stairwell, and we see like imminent sunset silhouetted in the doorway, um with like the bright, I think, like firelight coming through, um and then there's like the steps going down the stairwell, and it seems to go down further than it should, and I think we hear like the sound of the machinery maybe again, but it's the hissing of steam and the a rhythmic like whirring of gears, and I think we get the temperature like seems to raise more and more as we get down further into it. What appears to be a boiler room, and I think I'm gonna play my card here. This card is
Ooh.
accomplice, and I think we get like a camera shot as Imminent walks into this room, and there's just like ritual circles made of blood on this floor surrounding like boilers and boilers and boilers and boilers. And I think um, Imminent has been trying and failing for some time now to summon something. And I think this scene is uh, like she takes out like several vials from uh, a pocket, and they're filled with like more ritual blood, and starts to try and draw another circle and to attempt another summoning. That's what I think this scene is.
Okay.
I don't know if anybody would like to interject here, be a character, or play the world as she tries or succeeds or maybe fails to do this.
I have a thought. Since you
Yeah.
mentioned water boil, steam, steam and stuff, perhaps you sort of like activating or chanting or whatever sort of finishes what you're doing.
Yeah.
Causes these steam boilers to like pipes crack, change form, get affected by this, and steam fills the room, especially thick in this like ritual circle where the outline of something is inside.
Imminent is like coughing, trying not to inhale too much of the steam, but it's everywhere and it's hard not to inhale it. Looks up and sees the outline of this thing, and maybe I think like steps back, waiting for the steam to clear, and is like, did it work?
Yeah, shoot.
I think it's a great time to cut the scene.
Yeah,
This
we
feels
should-
like establishment of how the horror is affecting each of us.
Yeah. I mean,
and
we do
then
still
we-
need to give a token, is the thing, but yeah.
Oh yeah.
I
mean,
also just realized that,
what?
but yeah.
Question mark? I'm inclined to say positive here.
Yeah, I like
I'm
that.
okay with it. So I did summon something.
Uh-huh.
It might not be helpful to you, but it might also be not helpful to everyone else, which might be helpful to you. So
We'll see. I like to
Yeah,
make a
you
rash
know.
plan.
it's open ended for now.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Interesting.
To me then. My
Mhm.
scene. Ooh, okay. Yeah, I think we this cuts, and I think like we open back up again, and I think it's a sunny day, you know? Like birds are chirping, you know, you see like the typical shit you see,
Nice.
like, and I think like it zooms out, and like think out in nature, we have Ravenous Revolt giving Imminent Sunset a magic lesson. Or, you know, doing mentorship, because she's supposed to be a mentor, not just horrible to them. So, as not to break our contract, I do have to oblige you in your request for mentorship. And I think, like, you know, I don't know if I want to roleplay her giving magic lessons, because I don't know what that would look like, really, but
Yeah, we can narrate that in like broad strokes.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah, I think she's just like, you know, yeah, I think she's like basically like, you know, going over like, I think has an old book, you know, is teaching you like the basics of magic and stuff. And I think there's like one passage that she gets to in particular. Oh, you'll find this one interesting, I suppose. And it's the paragraph, or not paragraph, I think chapter on immortality. And yeah, okay, go ahead.
Why would I need this?
Well, this is the reason you're here, my dear.
To attain immortality.
Well, you already have it, but, well, there's some of us who might like that as well.
I'm here to learn the ways of human magic. I'm not here to learn.
Human magic, demon magic, do you really think there's much of a difference? All coming from the same source.
I should hope so. Or else this deal is even worse than I thought.
Well, I suppose we have our differences in practices and that sort of stuff, but, well, you know, me and Lenore have also been curious about the other side, let's just say.
Are you looking to make another deal?
I mean, I feel like I got a pretty good deal already, but, well, Lenore does keep insisting that we strive towards our goals more, which I suppose is what we should do. You see, we want to find the secret of eternal life. You have it. I don't know if you know it, but you have it.
Revolt, I simply don't die.
Yes. I wish the same were true for me. That is why we brought you here. That's why I asked for your heart. maybe it could give us a clue to what it might be. I think at this point, like, she opens up her bag and like takes it out, you know?
And like Eminent's eyes go wide, and like the pupils like dilate well past like the size they should be, such that they take up most of her eye. Um, and I think she like I think they lick their lips here too. They like
Okay.
And maybe some of like the more demonic appearance starts to bleed through their current like human form, and like a forked tongue slips out of their mouth, and um several blinks, and they get themselves back under control again. um I think it would be wise not to mess with things you don't understand.
Oh dear. Messing around is the only way to understand how you find things out. But I suppose if you wish for me not to mess around, you better start talking.
You're dealing with a powerful artifact revolt.
I know. That's. If it wasn't powerful, why would I be messing around with it? And I think what happens at this moment is like you hear this like mechanical shriek in the distance. And like I think like Ravenous like looks over and like I think there's horror on her face. I don't think you see the thing that's like that she like is like trembling at.
Mm-hmm.
But what you do see is like the object in like I think like sitting. I think she's holding it in her hands, and I think you see this like giant mechanical beak come out.
Let's go.
And steal away the heart.
I think this is one of those things where where Revolt froze in horror, and at the same time, like Imminent Sunset lunged for their heart back, and the beak just beats them there,
Yeah.
in midair as they leap, like snatched out of their grasp, and they fall to the floor.
Gravenus is just like, what the fuck? Like,
turns around, and it's probably gone at this point already. We have to get that back.
Yes. I think like kind of like surprised she's agreeing with you as he says that, you know?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's seen.
It's probably seen.
Yeah.
Which I think sets up a pretty easy. Hang on, I should see what this is first. Ooh, interesting. Okay. An interesting next, or an easy thing for next scene, which may just be immediately cutting from that to a very close shot on Lenore saying, "You lost what?"
I didn't lose it.
Oh, you're right. My apologies, sister. You had what stolen from you? You allowed it to be taken from you? Do you prefer that?
You have to understand, I did not expect that to happen.
No. You didn't expect that there might be other powerful forces interested in the heart of a demon. My, how could anyone have predicted such a thing? I also think the camera is like slowly pulling back here, and this conversation is taking place in the endless void where Lenore is doing some sort of experimentation on the on Bella Flux's body.
What does Bella Flux's body look like here? Do we see that?
I defer to
You
Clay.
want me to make it up? Yeah, okay. Oh, I think that's interesting. Boy. Okay. I think it's going from imminent sort of crystal heart. I think this is a fractured figure that is in pieces and inert without the spirit or soul of Bellaflux or Dennis. It's a puzzle. It's a puzzle of glass, a thing that was broken, and maybe if you know how to put it together, it will work again. But it is in so many pieces, and you're not quite sure what form it will make by the end. These pieces seem to not quite be humanoid in its final form when fit together. I think that's the weirdness I'm thinking about it.
Oh, I like that. Yeah, because then I think what we're probably seeing going on through this whole thing is like Lenore levitating up a couple of pieces, trying to get them to fit together, rotating them, so occasionally getting some that interlock, but often not. But also, I think definitely like I don't know that we necessarily see what these are, but she's definitely looking at reflections of something in the surface of them.
Yeah, and I think in terms of talking about the camera, like having the shapes you're trying out to just be out of focus, out of frame a little bit, always like it's always like we don't get the full picture, but it's a little bit unsettling every time that you're trying to do something. But perhaps to you by now it's trivial.
Right. Or at least I've convinced myself it's trivial.
Yeah.
Maybe it maybe shouldn't be.
Yeah, maybe not. Would something like that work?
Yeah, that sounds great
Okay.
to me.
Good, good.
Yeah.
I forget where we were now.
You
Yeah.
were a heated discussion how she lost the
Yeah.
heart.
You didn't consider that someone that there might be others interested in in an item as powerful as in an artifact as powerful as a demon's heart.
Didn't expect a giant fucking mechanical bird.
A giant mechanical bird. Sister, have you been struck in the head?
It's what I saw. Ask Imminent. They saw it as well.
Ah, I see. The demon whose heart this is, who you hold power over through that, they will back up your story about how it is stolen.
Well, I suppose I don't have the power over them anymore now, do I?
No, and that is something we are going to have to deal with sooner rather than later.
I... You're the one who told me to be more bold.
What I told you to do was crack it open, sister, not
I
to
was getting to that. I was just trying to see if I could get a little bit more out of her before that.
well, I suppose I can at least if uh, uh, appreciate your initiative, even if it was rash. um, we still have this, and sort of gestures to what she's working on. But the we'll need to find this giant mechanical bird. Now, tell me, What did you smell?
Smell?
That's right.
I don't know, like... It's outside. I smelled the outside. I guess there was a hint of... I don't know. Is there something you want me to say here? You know, do you just want me to come up with something?
Whatever works for me.
Okay. I think... Guess there was a hint of blood.
That's useful.
As a witch, she innately is familiar with the smell of blood, of course.
Oh yeah, for sure. Then it is simple. If this, I am sure that this item stolen from you, no doubt orchestrated by the treacherous sunset, we'll be able to track it. We just need the proper ingredients. And we described the void as being somewhere that Lenore just kind of stashes magical shit. So I think like produces from somewhere a tarnished, an old tarnished, stained, like broad but shallow scrying bowl, and hands that to you to hold.
Yeah, I think she like picks it up, like. And what would this be for, sister?
I think very carefully slides out a long, thin silver dagger and reaches out to take your hand, but doesn't take it herself. You have to place your hand in mine. Blood, sister.
I think she's like, I suppose. Like puts her hand in there. I think like there's like a look of like she doesn't really trust this, but also like feels like she has to in some way, you know? Like
Mm-hmm. Um and then I think there is the camera doesn't have to dwell on this, but I think there is a movement with the knife, and there's and blood trickles into the scrying bowl, and we're both looking at it. And like it swirls. It's clear that it's clear that something is happening, but an image doesn't resolve at first, and then suddenly Lenore lets out a sudden like quick inhale of pain, and we see another couple of drops of blood fall in. Lenore grabs at her hand and then looks at it and sees like on the outside side of her palm a pair of puncture wounds, as though from fangs. And I think looks around. I don't think Lenore sees this, but I think the camera sees in one of the rotating bits of the body of Belloflux ne Dennis, like an image of fangs, so, a mouth with fangs there. The what exactly that's attached to is indistinct. But with the addition of the second set of blood, an image does start to resolve in the scrying pool, in the scrying bowl, and I think we see the summoning circles in the boiler room.
mm-hmm.
Good shit.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Who could have done that?
Who could have done that? And I've seen of her.
Oh yeah, sorry. I think
Okay.
yeah, that's we. That feels like still getting
Yeah.
something positive out of there, right?
Mm-hmm.
You got information that was quite important. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Do we want to take another break? So we've like done another round of. It's been about an hour, so yeah. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, and then
Nice
we
and
can sort of
leisurely.
chew the scenery a little bit on the coming scenes, probably.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Second 10 over?
All right.
Sure.
And we're back. We're once again raising money for medical aid for Palestinians, and since last time we've had a £25 donation from Rosa, which thank you for that one. Yeah, let's get back into the game. So, as we left off, what happened? We saw, trying to remember things, we saw Belloflux try to sneak into Ravenous's room, hear a weird mechanical sound, and try to steal Imminent's heart, but failed to do so before being caught by Lenore Trescott. Then we saw Imminent Sunset descend upon the basement, that's the word I was looking for, and make some sort of summoning circle near the boiler. Then we saw Ravenous try to mentor Imminent, showing them their heart before it got taken away by a giant mechanical bird? Question mark?
Bird thing, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then we saw Lenore lecturing Ravenous in the void about doing that before they before they used the scrying tools to see some sort of fanged creature, right? What happened? I don't remember exactly the language you used.
What we saw the summoning circles in the boiler room.
We saw the summoning circles
after Lenore was bitten by something fang that we didn't see.
Oh yeah, that's what I meant.
We only saw it partially in the reflections of Bellaflux's body. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Should we still go in?
Yeah, we
in order.
Continue. Yeah, in order.
Okay.
So yeah, do you want to establish or resolve a scene, Clay?
You know what? What I would like to do instead, since we haven't done it yet, I think is to let you all establish a scene with Bellaflux, and then I'll resolve it instead.
Okay.
We're sort of teeing up the improv ball here.
Yeah. What happened to Bellaflux since we last saw them, I guess? Because like they were like caught by Lenore, right?
Yeah.
Last time we saw it.
Yeah.
Are they in some sort of prison or something, or like?
Well, yeah. I was. What I was gonna say is, am I telling you to tell me how to properly reconstruct your body? Or am I making you tell me how to reconstruct your body?
Oh.
I love that.
Yeah. I like that too.
I think so we're still in the void, or we're in the void again. And I think this is I have you in, like, I guess it's the kind of thing that Gibbet, maybe, what the kind of cage where it's like there's a floor at the bottom and then the bars going up and sort of meeting in a dome at the top.
Yes. Yeah, I know what you mean. It has
which I think,
but yes.
yeah. I think even though we're in the void, there is a length of chain, like as though it is attached to something. We never see the top of that chain though. And I think I'm again rotating these pieces around, because now, Bellaflux, you do want to be put back together, don't you?
Yes. Yes.
So help me then. Which goes where? What makes it all tick?
You will not give my body once I tell you.
Oh, you wound me, Bellaflux. Once I am done with it, once I have what I need, what my sister and I require, what use will I have for it once that is done?
Doom. Doom is heralded by the sound of the screaming machine. You have heard the doom, haven't you, Lenore?
I have heard many dooms in my time. I do not fear yours, but if that
Why?
is
Why you
why,
hide your hand, Lenore?
my
Why?
hand is none of your business. I, uh, now, why don't you tell me what you and Imminent planned to do with their heart, since you were so set on getting it back?
Doom is heralded by the sound of a
Of the
screaming
screaming machine,
machine.
yes, 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 yes. You know, Bellaflux, you could be tiresome sometimes. Look, I know you're upset with me. I can understand that. It, you do not feel you have a form that is suited to your impression of yourself. We can fix that, but you have to help me in order to do that.
Yes. I can do that.
Excellent. Now then, where were you taking the heart to?
I was taking the heart to Imminent when I heard the doom that is heralded by the sound of a screaming machine. You do not hear it, Lenore?
Your doom does not trouble my ears, no.
And you
But
will not know its bite.
her face pinches up a little when you say bite. Um, Now, that was very good. I appreciate you answering. Now tell me. And a piece of the body hovers up, like sort of rotating slowly. Where does it go? How do they connect? How does it fit together?
You will never see that in here.
And why not?
You need your Earth's moon. You're not seeing the right angles. You'll never see them in your featureless cage. Maybe that's why you don't hear it. The doom. You hide away. Is it you who is in a cage, Lenore? Of your own making?
The only cage I rattle against is not one of my making. It's a cage of. Is the cage of and I think she does hold up her hands at this point, and you can see where there's the bite mark on her hand. Is the cage of this frail mortal flesh that my luminous existence is shackled to. That is what I need to learn from this, gesturing at the body.
You must take it out of here. But you won't do that, Lenore. You're afraid. You cower.
I fear nothing, least of all your blandishments.
Thank me once you have found your courage to take it out. I shall give you help. But
Sorry.
I shall give you help once you have taken the body out of here. You must do that. But leave Imminent alone.
Do you want this to be a positive or a negative scene? Because I think that determines how I answer here.
Ooh. Let's stay with the theme that Bellafox does not get any
Oh, buddy!
scenes here. He's not really having an upper hand here. Or they don't have an upper hand here. Yeah.
Then I think it's of course. Of course, Bellaflux. I have no intention. I have no intention of harming Imminent. And I think the camera like moves to see that in the reflection of one of these pieces, or no, that sitting nearby is the scrying bowl that we saw earlier, and what the camera sees looking through it is Ravenous's face. So Ravenous has heard all of this information.
No.
I'm not gonna hurt her. Hurt them.
You promise this?
I promise you.
I will show you how to assemble my body. As you have made this promise. A compact.
Thank you for finally seeing reason.
Reason. That is the humans' attempt at making sense of senseless world. I have no need for reason. All I hear is the doom heralded by a screaming machine.
Yes, well, I'm sure you won't have to worry about that for too much longer. You know, once we've put Humpty Dumpty back together.
Once I have my body back, many things will change.
On this, we agree.
Thank you, Lenore.
You are very welcome.
All right, I'm good at ending the scene there.
Yeah.
I just passed you your negative token, by the way.
Yes, thank you.
So, my scene next, right?
Yes.
It sounded like there was some violence in my near future, and I feel like I would like to not establish that.
You want someone else to establish the ambush?
Yeah.
God. Hmm.
Well, I promised not to do anything, so.
Yeah. So it's gonna be down to Ravenous, huh?
Either Ravenous or Bellaflux. I could see it going either way.
God. Getting Bellaflux to do that would be even more fucked up, but...
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if, like, we're at that point yet with, like,
Sure.
what the Nora's doing, but yeah. Hey,
I would also, if we can introduce or have Bellaflux in the scene, either opening or in the scene at some point, I think I would like a scene where Bellaflux talks to Anna, where they have a bit of a sort of to have a little bit of a symmetry in their opening scene together.
Ooh.
Because I think a lot has happened in between.
Yeah. What sort of place would Imran be sneaking around?
I could see this being more sneaking around in the basement.
Okay.
I could see Eminent stealing ingredients from the ingredient shelf in like one of the towers of this manor. I could see Eminent on the hunt for the horror. I could see that. That makes sense to me also.
Yeah. Yeah. I think. I think this is happening in the basement, and I don't
Yeah.
know. Maybe this is like you searching for the horror as well, But like, I think it
I
is
like that.
like. I think like Ravenous. I think you're doing something in the basement, like looking through some shelves or something. I don't know. You're like
Yeah.
standing still at some point, and I think it's like near where the like summoning circle was.
Mhm.
And I think
There's,
like
like-
Ravenous. Okay, go ahead.
I was gonna say there's like a secret library down here with like manuscripts that are bound in like cracked leather, pages that are so dry and dehydrated they feel like they would like snap if you put like turn them too hard.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think it is just like Ravenous, like, I think walks up to you, like, your back turned, yeah, with your back turned towards her, and like, I think they like approach you and just like, imminent.
Snaps the book shut, turns around, is trying to mask a look of surprise. Ravenous.
You did a great job erasing the circles, but you have other ways of uncovering what you did.
What circles?
Don't play dumb with me.
I haven't mastered the art of summoning yet. Are you accusing me of having summoned something?
You're a demon. How could you not have knowledge of it? It is how you approached here, is it not?
There's a smile that's a little bit too wide. If you want information from me, you're going to have to be a little more specific, or at least give me something in return.
The summoning circle in the boiler room. Is that what summoned that horrid beast that stole your heart?
Oh, that would make sense, but the horrid beast that stole my heart, that sounds like you're talking about yourself.
I have no time for your games, Imminent. I know you
The smile
despise me.
somehow gets a little even wider.
Yeah. I know you despise me, but I do not care. Why did you summon that beast?
I'm here to learn magic. Surely a little experimentation shouldn't be frowned upon.
You're here to learn magic from us. And to do so, you have to follow our conditions. You haven't been following those. Is it not demons' whole thing to follow contracts? Are you not obliged?
Then, please inform me. And opens the book up, and as if like magically falling to exactly the right page, you see like a copy of the circle that was inscribed in blood on the boiler room floor, and like a very rough sketch in like a semi-faded like ink on the next page of a some like ungodly form that is composed of gears and wings and beak and metal and fangs and claws. um I couldn't have done it if it wasn't without your library. So who's really to fault here?
Are you really that stupid, Imminent? You think that beast will stop at the two of us? You do not think it will come for yourself? For your precious Bellowflux?
Aren't demons supposed to follow contracts?
This is no demon. It's a beast. A hellish creature. Well, I guess that's a demon. But, I do not think this beast possesses the intelligence to even follow a contract, my dear.
How much would you like to bet? Would you stake your life on it?
I fear my life might be lost already. Seeing how things are going. I do not think your magic will be able to stop this.
Not without my heart. But if that is returned to me, then maybe your life could be spared.
And who took that heart, huh? Was it the beast you summoned, perhaps?
The facade's starting to crack a little bit. It's only natural that a being of such power would be attracted to other sources of power. It is not my fault that you were flaunting your prize about, almost begging it to be snatched up by the first thing that had any opportunity to.
Cannot hold what I own? Look, in this world, we perform magic, yes, but giant beasts that steal the possessions from your hands, it's unique, even here. I think she's just like, come with me. And I think she grabs like your wrist, and like there's like a moment, and then you pop into the endless void, you know? Like,
yeah, great. Yeah. They're like their skin feels like cold to the touch.
I'll leave you here.
You're
Albeit... Oh, yeah, go.
You're trapping me?
Yes. Maybe you... Do you want to summon another dangerous beast before I do so?
You're signing your own death warrant.
My dear, I know how to handle a demon. I think it looks at you with a smile. Like...
That sounds like scene.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Oh, I was wondering if Bellaflux could be in there as well, just to have the talk, but we can also keep it
Oh,
like
I
Yeah.
like that. I like that. I forgot about that.
Yeah, I
It-
think, yeah, I think what happens is Ravenous smiles and then disappears again. You know, like.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay, then I think Bellaflux's voice just in this endless black void just comes out. What have you done, Imminent?
enacted our revenge.
Oh, it's much dire than that, Imminent. A beast made of steam and metal. What have
And I
you
think
done?
they walk over and they I think see the sort of cage that was constructed around you. And I
Mhm.
think start taking it apart. They were holding us both hostage. I know what I'm
you
doing.
have released, Imminent, is doom. It will not stop. It will not cease. It is made of function, cold. It will not stop.
I cannot die. It'll have a tough time trying to even try. Though if I put you in danger for that, I am sorry.
I fear
There's
you have put more than this house in danger. Do you hear it? The machine.
faintly. It was louder before I was trapped here.
Yes. It's quiet in here. I think that's why Lenore prefers to be here. I think, is my body still in here, Lenore? Have you taken it out?
I think I've taken it out at this point. Unless you
Yeah.
want it to be here for something. in
No,
particular, that's fine.
I'm good either way.
Okay.
So, yeah. She took me here in an insult, showed me my body, and her feeble attempts to remake it. I hope I have distracted her for long enough for you to find your heart. Now that you have freed me, I can help.
My heart was stolen.
Yes, by Ravenous.
No. By the machine.
I think the color from Belafrock drains. No, it is not so.
I wish I could, but it seems that I will be suffering for Ravenous's short-sightedness.
Ah, these mortals play with things they don't understand. Ah, if I get my body back, when I get my body back, I shall twist them into that which they want the most. Immortal. Like the tree watching its friends get cut down around it, to know they are the last of their kind, utterly alone. Let us find your heart.
Are we trapped here any longer? I don't know how to leave.
Perhaps if we both use our magic, we can carve a door.
I gave myself a negative token for this for being trapped here. So I think if this does work, it will take a long time and it'll be like an inconvenient amount of time.
I think
But
you just sat down to do it, to try.
Yeah, I like this. Awesome.
Okay.
So, okay. I think I want to establish the scene here. I think this is basically like Ravenous, like, you know, walking, basically being outside and like walking around. And I think like there's a hilltop, like near the house, you know? And I think like she's been like staking it out. I think like as she's walking towards like this hill, I think like takes out like a looking glass, you know, like stretches it out, and you see like the camera focus on the top of like the hill. I think you see like this like nest made out of like what sort of metal things would they have in this era? I guess I think it's like rakes and like
apes.
Yeah. Yeah, and like just like all sorts of like tools and stuff like that, you know. And you know, this is Ravenous trying to reach the nest of whatever beast has been summoned.
Surely this is gonna go well.
Yeah, surely nothing is gonna go wrong here. I mean, I'm establishing, so I can know. And yeah, I think like basically the scene is sort of like, you know, it's like, yeah, it opens on that shot, then we get another shot of her like climbing up the hill. I think she's dressed in like, you know, very practical clothes, like adventuring gear sort of thing, you know? Like yeah, I think like scaling up this mountain. I think after a while, like it starts out being sunny, but then it starts raining. Like she's like covered in mud and shit, you know? Like, not shit, I mean shit as in things, not
Yeah.
shit.
Mud, water, branches.
Yeah. Yeah, I think like, you know, after a while like reaches the top of the hill, you know, and I think like gets into the nest, sees like imminent like heart laying there. Yeah, I think like picks it up and like looks at it, inspects it, you know. I think like has like a deep breath, you know, like clearly still like scared and shit. I think just like, yeah, pulls the bag that the like heart was in earlier out of like her pocket, you know, and like puts it back in.
The temperature starts to get hotter, not like really hot immediately, but you do notice an increase. And you start to hear a whir and like a repeated like clank.
Yeah.
Like your skin getting damp from condensation.
Yeah.
shit. I think like she whispers shit, you know. Like I think it's just
Mhm.
like looks around. I think there's like a small cave nearby, you know. I
Mhm.
think they just like take shelter inside, you know,
Yeah.
looking out to
Um,
see if she's being noticed or not.
yeah, and maybe this is like the first time we see it like all in like its full like I don't know,
Mhm.
maybe not glory is the right word, but like the full image of it. Um,
Mm.
and I think um it's making its way back towards the nest that is created, and I think it shambles. It doesn't walk. It doesn't fly. But on like uh uneven like mechanical legs made out of pistons and like hydraulic levers. Um, each
Sort of like
step like
House Castle at the end of the
yeah,
hardest week, sort of like janky, barely
mhm,
holding it together.
yeah. Um, and then I think like it starts to get like uncomfortably hot as it approaches, and um, I think
Yeah, I think.
it gets back to the nest and starts like rooting around looking for something.
Mhm. I think there's a shot of Ravenous just like sweating profusely, you know, like. I
Mm-hmm.
think like yeah, just like trying to hold her breath, you know, like just holding like the heart on her chest, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And then the light from the moon that's sort of shining into the opening of the cabin. I think see sort of an over the shoulder shot of this sweating Ravenous as the entrance is entirely blotted out by the beast stepping in front of the light.
Yeah, I think like you know another shot of just like I think like just like her like like I think it's as if someone was praying, you know, that sort of thing where they're like secretly, like quietly praying to themselves. But I think it is
Mm-hmm.
instead of that, she's doing like, you know, some sort of ritual spell or something. I think it's not a very effective spell or anything like that. I think it very much serves a similar purpose in that way. Like, it's a, like,
Mm-hmm.
it increases your luck somewhat or something, you know? Like, that's what it does.
Yeah,
Anything, yeah.
Ooh.
I think um what happens here is like I think um this beast leans down and even peers into the cave, and we see like an iris that is made of like fire and like enclosed in like almost like a camera style shutter that is like um
Aperture, yeah.
yeah, like the aperture like expanding and contracting to try and like peer into this cave, but it can't fit, it's too large. um and somehow you tell me how, but it doesn't see you, and I
Mhm.
think it stalks back off towards the manor in a fit of rage.
Oh, I have an idea. What
Yeah.
if what if the moonlight hitting the glass, the body made of glass, Butterfly's body, like reflects moonlight extremely brightly, and it's sort of
Ooh.
that bird instinct of like jerking its head
Hmm.
precisely towards that, and then
Yeah,
lumbering off.
that rules. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we see that happen. Like it lumbers off again. I think like Ravenous just like lets out like a relieved sigh. I think stands back up, you know, goes towards the cave entrance. I think she steps on a branch, and the once lumbering beast turns around and I think just runs at her, like with a speed we haven't seen before. Ash, and like, you know, lunges at her and takes her into her beast as Ravenous Revolt is bitten
Let's
Oh
fucking
my
by the
go.
god!
Oh
beast.
no.
Holy shit!
So
Yeah, it
Ravenous
was
is just dead
halfway to the
here.
manor or something, and it just like gets supernatural speed. So you're
Yeah.
dead?
Um,
Okay.
I think it's ambiguous. I think there's very much like, you see her like get mauled, basically. Like,
Yeah.
like taking up in her beast, like I think like raised in the air with her like her in it. I think thrown back on the ground, and I think we see a shot of like Ravenous just being like, I think like very sweaty, like incredibly pale, like almost ready, like she's almost dead,
Yeah, yeah.
But as close as that as she can be. But we don't see her dead yet.
Mm-hmm.
Um.
So
yeah.
that's the positive spin.
No, the positive spin that she got away at first, and then, you know. I mean, I will say
So
this
much for that
does
luck
mean,
spell.
yeah. I mean, this does mean her demise, is what I would say about the rules.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm just leaving the possibility open for her to be like, I don't know, maybe turned in something different or something.
Oh
Needs
yeah.
to be
Oh yeah.
vampire.
So in the rules, it's like it shows a peek of how the scene could have ended, but you're showing
Yeah.
how it actually ended. Yeah. Okay. That's lovely. It's sort of like a head kind of like this is this is the story of Amnes being okay, but that's not the
Yep.
real story.
Uh-huh.
That's cool. Okay.
Yeah.
Ian.
Well, I feel like that scene sort of set up where Lenore is right now.
I mean, you could do a flashback, a flash forward. You don't have to
That's
stay in the.
no. I mean, I'm also I'm fine with that being where Lenore is right now. But yeah, I think this is up on. Not I imagine on a different hillside or mountain, probably a hilltop. Um,
Mm, very witchy.
Yeah, exactly. There's not like standing stones or anything up here, but there's something a little bit too regular about the way the trees are arranged at the edge of the clearing atop the hill, I think.
An old
Um,
cracked millstone.
mhm. And yeah. That's where the body catching the moonlight is. Um, and I think Lenore has clearly been here and been working on this and has clearly made progress, but I think has reached a point where she recognizes that she now needs Bella Flux to guide her to the completion of this. Um, and I think reaches reaches her hand out, and at like 2 feet away from her, it just disappears, and then she withdraws it again, and she is just oh wait, you're not in the cage anymore though. If she just draws the cage out.
Yeah, the
Oh my
cage is
god.
disassembled.
Okay, then yeah, she reaches pulls by a chain and sees the disassembled cage, and her face goes dark. Um,
Is this
and
when is this maybe when Imminent and Lenore, sorry, and Bellaflux show up here, not in chains?
Yeah, absolutely. I was 100% thinking of this as this opens a door for y'all to be able to get out.
Yeah.
Yeah, the membrane is thin, sort of like
Yeah.
thing. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I like that.
Belloflux. Imminent. I suppose I should have guessed.
If you wanted to trap us there, you should have left both of us in a cage.
I did nothing to trap you, Imminent. I was holding Belloflux. I did nothing to trap you, Imminent, and I was just trying to get Belloflux. I simply needed to make preparations, Belloflux. You knew I would need you here. We already have a deal.
A deal? What deal?
they will assist me in completing the reassembly of their body, and I will restrain myself from teaching you any more from teaching you some manners.
Maybe at this moment, when you're like, you say it in your certain way that she'll get hers or they'll get theirs anyway. You hear like this massive release of steam and screech, like air blowing through a kettle over on a nearby mountain.
I think Lenore looks to that way and just sighs and goes, "This is your doom of screaming machines, I take it, Bellaflux?"
The doom is heralded by the screaming of a machine.
Well,
It's coming.
all the more reason for us to make haste in completing this task. You are right. You were right, though. It is beautiful in the moonlight.
You see the angles now.
I do.
Well, what are you waiting for? And I sort of like whip out my long tongue towards one and then whip out my long tongue towards another one. They go together. Which doesn't quite seem like they can.
But they do.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Imminent. This is the only way we're going to escape. I'm afraid I've been hiding something. That's my body. I'm not human.
Then I say we are kin.
We are.
Yes, it's an evening for many revelations now. I just need a few more minutes here then, and I will have all I need from this. And
I'm trusting you, Bellaflux. And I think Infinite is going to help for a little while.
Okay. It's a positive scene for Lenore.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which I think means this gets reassembled. How
Yeah.
does Lenore? But the I think it's reassembled in like larger pieces, and I
Yeah.
think it's that when those pieces draw close to each other,
Yeah. Almost a
magic or
magnetic.
energy or something
Yeah.
forms between them, and Lenore siphons that out. Like maybe not all of it, but a lot of it each time, and into herself. Um, and what color is that? What color is is this force that is trying to bind this body back together?
I think like scintillating. So like depends on the angle that you look at it from. Sort of pearlescent, you know? Like if you're standing at one angle, it looks a deep, rich purple. Another, it looks like a cold, uncaring blue. It all sort of depends on what angle you're standing from. Maybe who you are as well. What color you see.
I think that's great. I think we see that color like from the jump. starts to be the color of Lenore's eyes.
Oh, hell yeah.
But I think as
Yes.
this goes on, as there's more of this, it starts to be like her hair standing up and almost having entered that color crackling in her hair, or even just like by the end of it, almost crackling off of her skin and her body, like it can't quite be contained within her. And I think uh uh I I think we hear the we hear the horror drawing nearer, though it's still not close yet throughout this process.
Oh yeah, this is catnip.
Yeah. And I think, but I think the body then reforms in full, and I think Lenore I think nods to you, imminent, uh, uh, and says, "Thank you for being so civilized about this." Uh, Very well, Bellaflux. I have, I have what I need. Do you wish me to put you back?
I do.
Um, and I don't think I think the Lenore holds out a hand for you to hop into. And
Yeah, I think Battleflux does.
uh
I think, to me, Battleflux is really like old school demon in the sense that you have a compact. There is no world that you cannot hold your part. Whether or not you uphold your part is up to you.
And I think the camera and I think we see Lenore lift this up to being sort of I want to let you define what this body looks like, but whatever it is, like center of mass, sort of. And then the
Yeah.
camera cuts to the other side. So we don't see what happens here, um, among other things, because I want to respect our veils here. But there is, so we don't see what happens. There's a flash, and when we cut back, I think there's blood on Lenore's hands, but the body of Bellaflux that we've known is gone. And I'm going to leave it to you to say anything about the body that Bellaflux has now.
In the same way that the beast is loud, I think this body is loud, but it's the sound of sort of like tines over glass scraping rather than clunky metal. And it's a body again that changes depending on how you look at it. To some, it might look like a biped, triped form, but I think in the moonlight, perhaps it is more stable and looks like a sort of free-armed, almost hovering sort of figure, arms out, like almost like sort of a divine prayer, arms out at angles. And they sort of like move inward and widen, and it looks like a glass rose at one point, and then they unravel themselves again, but constantly with this uncomfortable scraping, glass over glass, breaking and reforming. Yeah.
Is that scene?
I think so.
Okay. So I have one more scene. We all have one more scene.
Yeah. For me, it will kind of depend what it is, but we'll see.
Yeah, I think. Oof. What I got from what you were doing is you essentially have drained the magic or the the power implicit or whatever out of this body now.
Maybe not all of it, but
Maybe not all of it, but like the powerful things that I was hoping to rely on, I think, are at least temporarily, if not permanently, gone.
yeah.
I think out from the crystal thing hovering up here in the moonlight on this witch's hill, I think Bellaflux, there is an anguished scream, almost metallic in nature, reflected, changing quality through the reflections. And I think the words that you get out are, "What have you done?" I shall rend you.
All I have done is what I have all I've done is what I have always intended to do. You had you were immortal, and now I am.
Bellaflux, you trusted her?
We
I
had a
harmed not a
compact.
hair on their head, pointing at Imminent here. And your body is reformed, and you are in it.
Yes. I feel so strange. Hollow. The machine is coming. Listen. And we hear clunking, dragging, perhaps enraged, perhaps driven by an arcane hunger. The beast bursts into the scene.
Let's go.
And I think I want to keep my scene short here. If anyone wants to resolve this in a negative or positive way, I'm all for that. I don't really have a thought on how to continue the scene otherwise. So if someone has some kind of a solution, that would be fantastic.
I see you hovering there. Yeah.
Positively.
Yeah.
Positively? What?
So, God, yeah, I think, how would this end positively, though, is the next question, but...
Yeah, I know how I'm getting out of here. I don't know how the rest of y'all are.
This is just, Yeah, this is just a case of, like, you know, the horror comes in, you know? Like, I think starts thrashing around in there. Just like, you know, I think it's like a dangerous animal. Not really out to harm you, but like, you know, you shouldn't approach it type of deal, you know? Like,
Yeah.
I think just like starts destroying shit. Maybe after a while, like sees Lenore tries to come at her, but like Lenore gets out or whatever.
Yeah, I think Lenore
normal.
just
Yeah.
steps to the side and disappears. She slips into the void.
I
Yeah.
think I have a world building idea here.
Ooh.
Seeing as it killed Ravenous first, perhaps this thing either can't kill immortals or it certainly goes for mortals first. So I think there's a moment where the thing runs over to Imminent, but seeing as they are an accomplice, they
Well, we
can
don't know that.
redirect. Well, I don't know that. I know that at a meta level, right? But seeing
And a
as an
summon.
accomplice,
Oh, imminent summons.
yeah.
At least.
I think Imminent has a moment to redirect it somewhere else. And there's only one way for it to go.
Uh,
Oh no.
Oh,
As the crystalline structure hovering on the hill is shattered by machine and steam and breaks into dust that sifts away.
It's
Maybe-
yours, right, Clay?
Yeah. Maybe this is one of those things where it lunges at me, trying to destroy me, and
Yeah.
then I hold out my hand, my palm out, and then I say, "You're no use to me anymore, Bellaflux," and I point my finger at you, and then
oh shit!
this monster turns around and tears you apart.
Yeah, with my body back and it being drained, I couldn't help you anymore.
Uh-huh.
Shattered. Oh.
Uh,
Yeah. Also, I will remind you all that if you want, which I'm not saying you should or something, but if you want, you can also meet your end in another character scene, another player scene, if it makes sense and stuff. So, you know.
It's good to know.
Yeah.
I would like to establish this scene
Okay.
because I think it's my scene next.
Yes.
And this is Lenore in the endless void, and you hear the pounding on the walls of this endless void of people something question mark are trying to break in. And I'm not sure how long it takes, but eventually I think imminent sunset and the horror like force a crack open into this space and step in. And I've been following you. It's time to pay the piper, Lenore.
I pay. What payment do I owe you?
Your life, my heart.
I never once held your heart. That was my sister.
Well, seeing as I'm not able to take it out of Ravenous's hand anymore, your hand will have to do. And the horror advances towards you.
The Yeah, I think there's a I think at first this appears to be going well for Lenore. I think she's feeling extremely empowered, and she's also in a place that
Her domain, even.
yeah, exactly. But I also think there's a relentless. This is relentless machinery.
Hmm.
and eventually Lenore is unable to fend off a blow, and it's not a great blow. It's, a cut on the arm or something like that, but it slows her. It makes
Yeah.
it that much quicker for the next blow to strike and strike a little bit worse, which makes it that much quicker for the next blow to strike and a little bit worse. Until finally on the I had been imagining the pieces of Bellaflux's body in the void on a sort of like very bare stone, like smooth stone, like almost an obsidian or something, like
Yeah,
glass, like
yeah.
almost a table.
Uh-huh.
And I think the horror uh knocks Lenore down onto there, and a whirring mass of many smaller beaks, like on gears, so that they're like
Yeah.
rotating through, descend upon her as she is picked apart.
Holy. See, this is very fun because I wanted to play my demise here too.
Oh,
Which means we
okay.
all had demises. So I don't know if someone wants to give me a positive or a negative. I could see it going either way for the purposes of this scene.
Yeah. I mean, at this point, it's pretty clear it's gonna be negative, right?
Yeah.
So I think we'll just go with that. Give you.
And I think it's like, do you have any last words?
I think Lenore whispers, like calls out in a whisper for Ravenous.
Oh.
Oh.
And then you're picked apart. And I think the horror, like, stands back up to its full height in this endless void and looks over at Imminent and, like, takes the heart that it had, like, nestled inside its body somewhere and just shatters it.
Oh.
And that like the mangling of the body that happens as like a parallel to what happens to the heart is the last we see of Imminent too.
Oh.
It's like quick.
Yeah, mercifully it's quick. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Oof.
Yeah, damn.
What happens next?
So, okay. So there is actually a rule for what if this happens, because it does happen. I mean, I think I did that in a later version, actually. That's not in this one yet. I wrote that after last time, but yeah, basically we can say, like, hey, we've all met our demise here. None of us are in a good state, at least. I think we can just, like, can skip the rest of the scenes, basically.
Sure.
And skip ahead to the epilogue. So, what the epilogue is we will. So during this game, we've been collecting these tokens. And Hunter, I'm very sorry to tell you that we didn't win. We in fact did not win.
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm getting the exact ending I have wanted since I got picked apart as a demise.
We as players win. Our characters do not win.
No one wins.
Yeah, so, but, to get back to the epilogue, basically we go around the table once more. I think we can start probably with me, since it would have been my turn, I guess. Makes sense to me.
Yeah, that seems good.
And during this, we can either discard our ends, but we all have done that already. So we can discard tokens. We will discard 2 tokens at a time. We can say 2 positive tokens for like, and oh, sorry, I should describe what we're doing with that. When we discard those tokens, we will describe a scene, not a scene, a shot basically in like a montage. So there's like one sentence, like description of like, oh, this is, I don't know, the corpse of my body running away, for example, if you want that. If you do 2 positive tokens, it will be a positive thing. They can be positive in the sense of like, you know, my characters remember fondly, even though they died, you know, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Or it can, or you can do 2 negative tokens for a negative shot, or both a positive and a negative token for more of a mixed shot. You know. So we'll go around, you know, doing that one by one until all our tokens have been discarded. So if you only have 1 token left, it's just the color of that token that decides what the shot is, basically. So you just only discard the singular token once you've done that. Yeah. So I guess I'll start. I can at best do the worst I can do is a mixed scene, I guess. God. I think. I think we get a shot back at the mountain, and you know, we see like Ravenous's body laying there. You know, still like coughing up blood, barely alive. And I think we hear the like mechanical screeching again. As like the horror descends upon descends down next to Ravenous. And you see it like pick at her with like its beak for a while. And then you see like and you see her stand up. Ravenous stands up, and she got the thing she was looking for, eternal life. Only how much of her is still in there?
Oh no.
Okay, that's me next, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so this is 2 positive. I think the camera has it's a very close shot on Lenore's, you know, absolutely motionless face. I think it's probably spattered with blood, hair, must, and down in front of her face as well. But just in the black void, and then it's the very sudden eyes opening, gasping, eyes flaring with the colors that we've seen, because Lenore got eternal life, and I think we see the camera pulls back and we see, you know, the gasping, and then sort of like writhing in pain as we see her picked apart body very slowly, with the color of the magic of Bella Flux's body, start to slowly knit itself back together.
Hell yeah.
As she kind of rides on the table that she left Bella Flux's body on for so long.
Awesome. So I guess I do a shot now.
Yeah.
If that shot is over.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. Well, I have an abundance of negative tokens, so Uh, hmm. This is hard. Maybe I'll do a flashback instead.
Ooh.
Go for it.
So I think this is a flashback to years ago when Bellaflux, then Dennis, showed up at the manor house. Back then, it was only Lenore there. And you sort of, I guess, see you see Bellaflux come there, desperate look in their eyes, very animated, showing them these drawings of people, various people, and talking at length about their stories and how it shouldn't come to an end yet. And with human magic, with witches' magic, it is possible to stop this. So, Lenore agrees, and to help Bellaflux, just there's a ritual first, and we see Bellaflux agree, go with her into this basement where there's boilers of steam. She draws out a circle, and there's a crack as a confused and horrified Bellaflux and a sound of shattering glass as Bellaflux stands its frog self in the center of the circle, glass in a explosive shatter around it, as Lenore puts the pieces into her void. Yeah, that's good for me.
I think mine, I'm gonna put 2 negative tokens back, is the horror goes so much further than I think Imminent ever meant it to. They wanted the house destroyed. They wanted Ravenous and Lenore dead. I don't think they initially were hoping to unleash it upon the world at large. And I think it continues to roam and destroy and kill. And I think it grows bigger and bigger and bigger, feeding on power of peoples and their deaths, and also on like pieces of metal that it is able to pick up and incorporate into itself. And I think it becomes like a legend. Not everyone dies from it, but a lot of people do. And it becomes a thing that people have to fear and learn about and hear about. The horror story becomes real.
Yeah. Need to do a positive one here. Jeez. think I think this is another like flashback scene, and I think it's again at the manor house, you know. I think this is like, oh no, I don't think this is at the manor house actually. I think this is like, who I want this to be. I think this is like, this is a long time ago. It's in like a witch's shack out in like the middle of nowhere, you know. And I think we see a young Ravenous Revolt, like, you know, being mentored by the witch that's there. And then I think one day she is introduced to another apprentice of this witch, and she meets Lenore. I think there's just a smile there, you know? Like, I think they, like, you know, pretty good friends at first.
Yeah, that sounds right to me. Okay, so I've just got this one negative left. So I think we cut back to Lenore is in pretty much the you know, the same place we left her, but is like, it seems like the magic has finished working. She is like, we get the just collapse flat from an arched back or something, and is just like panting and covered in sweat, and probably has like tears trickling down the from the sides of her eyes, lying there trying to recover from everything that has just happened to her. And then I think we hear the like clattering, flapping of metallic wings as the birds descend once more. As that was still her demise. She doesn't get out of that. But uh-oh, did we lose?
Oh,
Did we lose Sea Voice?
He did. Let me try to get that back. Okay, it should be back now.
Okie dokie. Yeah, the the flock of I don't know if this is actually the beast coming back, the beast itself coming back, or just some extension of it. And I don't think this is quite this happens on a daily basis or anything like that. I think the magic takes longer to work, and I suspect it takes longer each time. For her to be put back together. But the beast, or this emanation, or the horror, or this emanation of the horror, or whatever it is, knows where to find Lenore. Always knows that there's always. You talked about it, gaining power from magic and from death. Well, here is a font of magic and death for it to gain power from.
let's fucking go.
All right. A mixed success. So yeah, I think in the moment that the beast shattered Battleflux's body, we see, you know, pieces shatter everywhere. And one part is flung into far into a nearby body of water, a bay, perhaps. And we see this piece of glass being taken out into sea, and over years and years and years smoothed to a perfect sea glass. As perhaps decades, perhaps hundreds, perhaps thousands of years, it ends back up on a beach. And there's almost this like frog eye that is reflected in the glass as Bellaflux, with a strange half consciousness, looks upon what's left of the world, and then as the beach elevates upward to a hill. The early morning sun is blotted out by the silhouette of this mechanical beast, now giant and amorphous from all that it's picked up through time. Blot out the sun and cast the reflection in which we saw Bellaflux's eye away. Yes.
I think for my last scene, which is 2 positive tokens, I think what this is when Imminent's heart was shattered, it left shards of crystal and glass on the floor of this endless void. And I think we see somebody in the far future finding these shards of glass and putting it back together, piece by piece, fragment by fragment, until the shape of the heart starts to form again.
Oh, what a nice thing to end it on.
Yeah, a happy ending.
I'm so
Yeah.
happy you kept the 2 positive ones. It was a happy ending after all.
I think there's something about immortality that needs to be met with. Immortality is a bad thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's always my stance on it.
Mhm, mhm.
Yeah. Yeah, that was our game of Meet Your Aunt. I want to thank
And we
everybody.
did.
Yeah, we did.
We super did.
Uh-huh.
Again and again.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, I want to thank you all for playing with me. It was a good game.
Thank you for running this.
Yeah, thank you for
Pleasure.
facilitating
No
this and
problem.
making this
God.
game, Cindy.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, see, as always, yeah, as always, not as always. Anyway, yeah, we're raising, again, we're raising money for Palestinian aid, medical aid for Palestinians, that's the name. Yeah, which, important charity, especially at the moment. Yeah, sorry, I'm kind of frazzled. Again, thanks everyone for playing. Do you want to do outros for all of us again, or are we good?
As the one with the least to say for that, I'm fine either way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel similarly.
Yeah, I guess what I'll say is, yeah, I was saying, if you want to see me play another game, on Sunday I will be playing a game of, need to get the name right here, Journey to Goblin Land, another game made by one of our people on our server, by Alice.
The Goblin Hour.
Yeah,
Goblin
Goblin
Hour.
Hour, where I will meet my eternal rival, the other Cindi on the server. Not rivals. It's a joke. And yeah. Anyone else want to say something before he closes out?
Yeah, I guess I
Yeah.
can plug a little bit. If you want to see me play another game, you can either tune in on Sunday, where I'm going to be playing Locked Room Murder Mystery, where we're going to murder a god, and that's going to be a fun time. Or you can check out KalazCon, which I'm also on in the legislature for, which is also a very fun time. Yeah,
We're almost up to a legislature cycle, aren't we?
I'm so excited. I'm so excited.
Cool.
Yeah.
I guess I can talk about the next game I'm in is the Saturday Goblin Hour, where I'll be playing in Fuck You, I'm a Goblin, together with the game's creator, I believe. Yes. And where we will attempt to play goblins that are working lifeless jobs at Dungeon Mart. But we are goblins, and chaos shall ensue. So that will be a lot of fun. Tomorrow at 4 a.m. EST. So pretty much the opposite of this.
In almost 12 hours.
Yeah.
That's also the
The
time for the Journey to Goblin Land.
The opposite of this in most ways, except that you'll see both me and Clay doing that again tomorrow morning.
Oh my god.
Whoa.
Oh, damn.
Hell yes, I'm so excited.
And I'll also be playing in our final game of the stream, be seeing you on Sunday evening, starting at 8 Eastern. So if you want something, if you're a fan of The Prisoner, you should check that out.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So,
Does someone have something they want to plug here at the end as well?
I'm good.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it's fine.
The link to this game has been spammed in the chat like a dozen times by the Roll+1 bot, so you can find it there.
Yeah.
And check out Into the Odd, which is we've got coming up next. For a weird. It sounds like weird, creepy OSR fun.
Yeah, it's sort of Bastion Land, but a different kind of adventure in Bastion Land, I think.
Yeah. Weird and creepy, such a departure from this game.
Yeah.
Yes. I had so much fun playing this. This is really
Yeah, this is a really special game.
Yeah.
And with that, I'll take us to the break screen. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.